your girl Ask Ashley here with another great episode of Monday Night Juice. I want to give you guys some time to come on in. Make sure that you guys are sharing the video, like the video, comment as much as possible. We've got a pretty deep subject that we are getting into tonight, so make sure that you guys stay tuned in. You good, Jerome? You see it? As always, I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Markel Benign Wines. Listen, do not judge me, okay, that this Fiji is what I'm sipping on tonight, but I promised my big cousin Lawrence Kane, he's probably my little cousin, but in my head, he's my big cousin. I promised him that I would do 30 days, no carbs, no alcohol, no sugar, and unfortunately, Markel Benign falls underneath that, but even though that is the wine of experiences, I am trying my very best to stick to that plan. So make sure that you guys can go ahead and check out your own bottle at www.markelbenignwines.com. Also, you can purchase Markel Benign drinks at Park Place. You can do it at Mango's. You can do it at Code 51. You can do it at the State Liquor Store out in Roseline. Or you can do it at Brentwood Spirits out there on Winton Road. But if you guys don't want to go out, just go to www.markelbenignwines.com. What's wrong? Why you got that look on your face? Oh, it's all right. All right, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, make sure that you guys are sharing the video, like the video, comment as much as possible. And we are going to get into this topic tonight. Let me see. Katrina says, take care of you. Yes, Miss Katrina. Shine, I see you, baby. Again, those of you that are tuning in, please share the video and like the video, comment as much as possible. What up, Mr. Gaddis? I see you. I am trying to take care of myself. You know what I mean? Get this body right. Get my mind right, most of all. So, yes, water for the next 30 days on Monday Night Juice. But don't get it twisted. Markel Benign wine is definitely the wine of my choice. Tamika, I see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. So, as you guys know, we like to do a hot topic before the show starts, and usually I'll go into the shade room and I'll see what's going on with them. However, something more serious that I feel needs more attention brought to it has happened here in Cincinnati, so I'm going to touch on that hot topic. A good friend of mine just shared with me that the Cincinnati police has now issued a curfew for 15-year-olds, well, 15 and up, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you all what that is. So, Cincinnati curfew law is 15-year-olds and under must be out of public places by 10 p.m., between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., and then 16 plus and 17-year-olds must be out of public places by 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Parents, make sure that you know that if you do not have your child out of these public places somewhere in the house safe, you will be fined $130. I personally think it should have been a little bit more than $130 because for some odd reason, the parents think that this is completely okay. I'm not saying all parents. I'm just saying that there are some parents. And unfortunately, a young man lost his life 2 weeks ago because he was out wrong time, wrong circumstances, wrong place. So, again, make sure that you guys are keeping your kids in the house safe. The Cincinnati curfew law, again, is for 15-year-olds and under must be out of public places between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. And then 16 and 17-year-olds must be out of public places by 12 a.m. midnight to 5 a.m. And parents can be and will be cited if they are not out of these places. Karen said, what's up, Miss Leah? Hey, y'all know Miss Leah. Shout out to Alternative Teaching. Y'all gonna see me on the big screen soon, but we'll talk about that later. Let me see. Chrissy, I see you. Darique, I see you. Jose, I see you. Carlos, I see you. Thank you guys again for taking the time to tune in. So, I asked this question last week, right? What was the worst thing that you could have happen to your child? Like, you just couldn't fathom it. Some people said my child being raped. Some people said my child being murdered. Some people said my child being locked up, dealing with the system, legal issues, things of this nature. All things that I completely agree with. Unfortunately, tonight's guest dealt with something a little bit deeper than what it is that you all had dropped. So, I want you all to put yourself in this state of mind. Tamu, I see you. What's going on? Katrina, I remember growing up with legal curfew in Chicago. This isn't unheard of. It definitely should have been implemented a long time ago. Okay, so I want you guys for a second to just put yourself in this state of mind. A lot of you that tune into the show are parents. Just imagine holidays coming up. Let's say your favorite holiday. We ain't even gonna say it's Christmas. Christmas, birthday, whatever. Favorite holiday is coming up. and you are waiting on your oldest child, your very firstborn child, your first blood, sweat, and tears, the one that you have put a lot of effort into, the one that you grew up with, because as that child grew up, you grew up too. Waiting on that child to come home from a visit from college to spend this holiday with you, and as you are waiting, you get the phone call that your child has been in a car accident and they are now deceased. It is probably the most gut-wrenching thing that you could ever think of when it comes to being a parent. So unfortunately, my next guest dealt with this issue, and he's going to come on tonight's show and discuss how he is getting by. Again, we talked, and I told you all when we posted earlier, I couldn't imagine. I don't want to imagine. But we're going to have Jerome Marsh come onto the show. Mr. Marsh, please join me. Y'all at home, give him a clap. Because y'all at home, so clap anyway. And we are going to get into tonight's subject. Michaela, I see you. Kim, I see you. Brittany, I see you. Tisha, I see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. So, Mr. Marsh, first and foremost, thank you so much for being willing to come onto the show and being open enough to want to discuss to us what's going on. So, I'm going to let you start off by just telling us a little bit about your son and the unfortunate situation that occurred with him in 2017.
Yeah, just to rehash, we went up.
Make sure you speak up so they can hear you.
Let me fast forward, speed up to the actual day before. My son, when he graduated from Northwest High School here. After he graduated, he was SWAC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, La Rosa's Player of the Year, All Ohio, everything. He ended up going to Muskingum University. He got to Muskingum freshman year. He was freshman of the year in the conference. He was OAC for all first team. Everything going his way. Sophomore year, great sophomore year, all OAC. He came home sophomore year, and we had found out beginning of sophomore year that somebody he was messing with, young lady named Abby, she was pregnant, having a baby, so he was going back to school as a father. So my deal was, hey man, I'm gonna make you a man when you go back.
Right.
So he went back, he manned up, really worked hard that whole summer. Mm-hmm. And the next year, coach told me, hey man, depending on the game of the year, Rail gonna break 1,000 points. Okay, wow, that's a big moment. There was so much going on. We started a brand because, I was like, man, when you get ready to go overseas, because they had already started calling and started working him out, starting to really want him to come. So it's like, okay, man, we just get you situated for going overseas. We'll start a brand. We'll get everything, which is our, we got work to do. And, we started this on December 13th. I launched it. They was coming up a couple games, missed one game, missed another game. Okay, look, man, we got the perfect situation. Home game, December 20th. Home game, this is the game we're going to break the record on. That was the first time he ever seen me wear some gear up to the school, because that was the first time I seen him since.
And this is merchandise and a brand that you two created together.
Right.
Okay.
Me, him, working in our basement. That was our mantra. We got work to do. So we're going to make this go, we're going to make it stick, and we're going to take this universal, man.
Okay.
Went to the school on the 20th. Fortunately enough, he did become the 31st player in the school's history to score 1,000 points.
Okay.
The irony of that night and the whole day was, that was a late game. They played at 7:30. It was over at 10. He'd been up all day, and, hey, Dad, I'm going to go ahead and drive home tonight, because me and my friends, man, it's dark, it's late, you've been up all day, you just played. By the time you shower, get ready, it's going to be 1 o'clock. You get home, man, I just don't trust it.
Right.
I'd rather you wait and just come tomorrow. The next day came, talked to him at 9-something in the morning. Man, I'm so happy, man. I can't believe you did it, man, and you still got your whole junior year, senior year. You're going to go down as the all-time leading scorer. But the last time I ever talked to him. I got a call from my fiance at about 12:30, just telling me, that the sheriff was there at the house and Rail was in an accident. I'm thinking, man, we just bought him a car last summer. oh, you probably messed up the car. To hear somebody tell you, you know, your son was in an accident and he's deceased. Worst thing ever.
Because I promised you I wasn't going to cry on
Man,
the show.
I'm trying not to either.
Promised him I
Sorry,
wasn't
y'all.
going to cry.
I apologize. Sorry, I'm trying not to.
So, the night before was a huge triumph for not only him, but for you as a parent. Because I'm sure basketball was something that you all was a passion together.
I taught him since he was 4, coached him through all AAU.
And you're more than welcome to show his picture.
Of course. That's my man.
In that moment, and I'm so sad by the fact that I couldn't imagine having to hear that from anybody, but in the moment having to hear it from your fiance, where were you? Do you remember where you were at the time?
At the time, I was a district manager with Cashmax. I was sitting in one of my stores, and she said, "You just need to come home." So I'm driving home, coming down. I'll never forget coming down.
Did you know on your way home?
As I'm coming home, because she didn't want to tell me. She wanted me to wait till I got home.
Okay.
I forced that out of her. Mm-hmm. Tell me while I'm driving. What you mean? Come home. Well, I'm gonna let you talk to the sheriff. Why? Did he hurt somebody? What? To be driving and hear, "I'm sorry, your son didn't make it." My first response was, "What you mean he didn't make it? Like, what you mean?"
Right.
He on his way home. It's gonna be Christmas. We got all this stuff set up and planned for him. What you mean he didn't make it? Well, I mean, he didn't survive the accident. Man, I'm swerving, crying. Man. Whew.
How old was your son?
20.
20 years old. And he just became a father.
And he did everything for all he dedicated everything to was his son. All he ever told him was, "I'm going to make you a better young man than Dad did me." And everybody knows, me and my son, inseparable. Mm-hmm. Inseparable. That was my guy. Man.
And do you have other children?
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a second. How have they managed?
Kids is so much more resilient than parents. They find a way to keep going and holding on to the things that they can remember that brings up laughter and happy and fun times. For me, I can just only hold on to what was supposed to be. They've kept me strong by staying strong, but they hurt every day. They hurt as much as I hurt. It's they've been able to fight through and just continue to go. Like getting closer to his son allows them to stay connected to him, but everybody is leaning on each other to hold on and to get through. I mean, we 563 days in, and it feel like yesterday sitting here.
Right. And you said this was back in December of 2017.
December 2017.
So, I see you have this degree with you, so I'm very happy about that. You can go ahead and grab that as well. And go ahead and tell my viewers what that degree is and what it means to you.
When my son left to go to school, I'm going to sit it right here. After he found out he had a baby, the one thing that I said was, it don't matter if you got a child, it don't matter what happens, you're not going to be a statistic. You're not going to be the guy who had it all, had a baby young, you couldn't finish school, you became a local hero who's working for a local. That's not going to happen. You're going to finish. You're going to go back to school. You're going to work. You're going to take care of your son. You're going to get your degree. I don't care what happens. You could have had 6 kids. You're going to finish. You're going to break the cycle and you're going to start a trend. The school, I talked to the school and they understood how important that was to me and his mother. So in his passing, when his class graduated, that just came up, it was presented, and I asked, man, if you want to close the chapter for me, let me get my son's degree, man.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to let me walk across the stage and get his degrees,
it was
sorry,
everything.
man.
It was okay. It's okay.
That meant the world to me. That meant the world, man.
So you were able. What's his degree in?
Got a degree in business management. There it is. He finished.
Absolutely.
It may be posthumously, but my son got his degree.
Got his degree. Absolutely. Those of you that are tuning in right now, again, please make sure you share the video, you like the video, because behind this story there is a brand. There's a major brand, and this brand is doing amazing things in the community. This brand is in multiple colleges. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Boss.
Thank you. This brand is in multiple colleges. You go and you speak at schools. For a second, tell us, because I think that one of the things that really touched me when we talked about this story was not even, we would say 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks after your son's passing, you had to go and be this beacon of light the way your son was for his team, and to speak to them and to get them to press forward. So talk to us about that for a second.
That was probably the most unconscious decision I ever made, because me and his coach was really, really close. And he called me and he said, Rome, the kids will be back to school, getting ready for tip-off over Christmas. I don't know what to say to them. He was everything. I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to do? I'm going to come and I'm going to help him. Let me talk to him. Mm-hmm. Let me speak for him and let me talk to him. What a lot of people don't realize, what was so hard about that day, was that was my first time. My son died on Interstate 7. So I had to drive right to where he died at. Just rough. But I had to do it, mm-hmm. because those boys, they needed to hear from me that you gotta play for him.
Right.
You still gotta go. You still gotta finish. Like, y'all know our thing is we got work to do. Come on, man. He would be so upset if y'all quit. So y'all gotta keep going. You gotta keep pressing. So that was the hardest part, was just driving there knowing I'm driving right where my son took his last breath. Just rough. It was the hardest, but it was the most unconscious thing I ever did, because I didn't think twice about it. I couldn't think twice about it because there was other people hurt besides me and my family. So I had to go.
I know you said that you had gotten that call from your fiance. How have you managed to support not only, your family, your children, but your son's mom?
It's rough because I'm trying to do everything that I told my son to do. If something ever happened to me, you gotta finish. Go degree, the league, everything we ever worked for all these years, go finish, man. So for his mom, for his siblings, for all his friends, for the community, it's I have to be, through me, they can hold on to my son. I gotta be the example for the community. I gotta be the example for his friends. I gotta be the example that everybody says, wow, you can still survive, you can still make it, you can still fight through. And there have been some unbelievable dark days, but I've still had to be strong enough. And my kids, like to my point earlier, my kids help me up, because even going through, so people can understand even going through a divorce, and his mom and his other siblings living in Pittsburgh, he stayed with me. We had so much more to do with basketball. He stayed with me. So to have this happen, literally dead smack in the middle of Pittsburgh and Ohio, it's like he took his last breath in between both of us. So being there for them, they've been as much for me, because there's days, that first year, I don't even know how I got through the first year. I did productive things, but I was broke, shattered, destroyed inside.
Right.
I couldn't work on Thursdays because that's the day he passed. So all I did for 365 days was count 7 days at a time, to when I could say, damn, man, another week gone by and my son still ain't, this ain't never gonna change. Like, forever is a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna read some of the comments that we've gotten. We have people that have said you're a great father. They said it's okay, and it's okay. Be proud of him. I have somebody that says a father's love and it's nothing like it. I have someone that says your strength is admirable, and he's definitely proud of you for continuing his legacy. I have another person that says I couldn't imagine the hurt and pain that you and your family have gone through. Another person says, Dad, we're so proud of you. I have someone saying, sending you and your family much love and prayers. You can live life after death. It's hard, but it's possible. And someone else that says you have to carry on your son's memory, and you are totally honoring him by keeping his name alive. We're always commending mothers, and I want to make sure that I commend you for your strength as a father. Let's talk about the brand for a second. We got work to do. How'd you guys come up with that, and what does that actually mean for you all?
Me, him, and his best friend, my other, again, adopted son, one of everybody in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. That was when me and his mom separated, and it was just me and my son. Darius kind of just, I don't know what happened. I just woke up one day and you was almost living here. Like, I don't know what happened in the process, but you was here. You live up the street, but man, dude, you here every day, every night. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna be here and we got goals, then every day I would go downstairs in the basement. All right, let's go. We got work to do. Come on, let's go get our workout in. Let's go. And that just became, it stuck with us, and it's been going on for years. That's all they knew. We got work to do. Come on, we go to the gym, make videos. Come on, we got work to do, boys. Let's go. And it was, even our mission statement on the brand says it started as a slogan because that's what it was. Right. But then it just turned into after my son's death, it just turned into a movement that was beyond anything I could expect. But we got work to do started that way. I never intended for it to turn into a brand. But once the light switch went off with Lonzo Ball and his dad, it was like, you know what? We got something that's pretty inclusive of everybody. Mm-hmm. No matter what walk of life you're in, no matter what you're doing, no matter how you respond. You could be 80, you could be 8, you could be a parent, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a scientist, you could be a teacher, be a talk show host. You do whatever you want to do. We all got work to do.
Absolutely.
So it transcended sports. Sports is where it started, but it transcended. So we just, come on, man. I got an idea. Well, what you want to do? I want to start a brand. So for 3 days, I'm sending them pictures of sketches and, all right, I like this. Then I got my guy Dave in Pittsburgh. Hey, man, draw it up. I want this guy here, found an image, but I want him kind of standing on a hill and just fatigued, but not giving up, just giving everybody that sign it, man. Even when you're tired, when you wore out, when you like, man, I just got my hands on my knees. All right, deep breath, take it in, breathe out, let's go. We got work to do. And from there, it just literally just took off.
So tell us, how can we support the brand?
We got a website, www.wegotworktodo.net. That's the fastest, easiest way. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. We Got Work to Do. On Facebook, just Jerome Marsh, but everything is about the brand. about positive, about feedback. I mean, just that's how I got into all the speaking and all those things, just by being very transparent and letting people know that through tragedy you can make it. But my goodness, you got to be able to understand that when it's pitch black, losing a child, it gets pitch black.
Absolutely. Let me see. Tamar says God will heal you and give you peace. Tammy says your purpose. You learned it through pain. Your son just living through you. All amazing. Al says, Rome, stay strong. Walk with God and your son each every day. Be free with the love you and your son, with the love that you and your son have. And then Tammy also says, continue making your son proud. He's proud of you. Sending prayers to you and your family. One of the questions that we have is, what words of strength do you have for a parent that has gone through something like this?
You can't stop. I've watched people go through this and get stuck. They can't move forward. I think the only thing, that's why people gotta understand, with this brand, it's not like I'm tatted. It's who I am, because it's what we created.
It's more than a brand. It's a way of life for you at this point.
It's everything to
Absolutely.
me. It's like oxygen. You take the brand away from me, you take my life away from me. Because this is the only thing, besides my grandson, this is the only thing that I can hold on to that I know for a fact has everything to do with me and my son. So I can't tell anybody anything except you gotta hold on. You gotta find something that's going to make you say, how can I get through this? Because if not, man, this is Alaska. It'll be dark for 365 days because I went through it. Yeah. I tried to survive, and I tried to hang in there, and I tried to just be positive. You know, I stopped doing some of the things. Every morning I give morning motivation. I had to give man moments about relationships, and when he passed, that all stopped because my purpose, I had lost my focus, my purpose, everything that I wanted to do, I lost that because everything that I was doing it for stopped. Right. And you know, that time of year, that was the worst. I mean, just imagine that happening 4 days before Christmas. Right. Imagine trying to experience, man, this is going to be a great Christmas for your son, the first
just
one at the house.
1,000 points, and
that's the best advice I can give. Is you gotta fight. Like, you gotta fight for your peace. You gotta fight for your purpose. You gotta truly dig down and have a reason to open your eyes in the morning. You know, everybody, will God open your eyes? Because, you know, they say God don't make no mistakes.
You say he did.
He might be 1,000,001. That's the one. That's the one mistake. But if I open my eyes, I've just dedicated it to, I told him what to do. And that's the only thing that brought me out of that darkness, was I told him, if something happened to me, you gotta finish, man. And that's all I kept hearing him saying was, come on, Pops. Come on, Pops. Come on, man. Let's finish. Let's finish. And it started with speaking at the school. After the funeral, it's like, man, I can't just work. I can't just be, if I don't find a purpose that's much bigger than me, something that I can impact the world with, because your name will never die. Your name will be around, your brand will be around until I take my last breath. And then it's going to be left for your son. But if you don't find something that's going to take you to the next day, I'm telling you, them days is dark, man. Them days is dark. Them days is, man, every thought you could think of. Suicide, not wanting to be here, sitting at the cemetery, wishing I could trade places, sitting at the cemetery crying in the rain, in the dark. This can't be my current reality. I can't live the rest of my life with this. 563 days later, I'm still living in that spot.
You know, usually I have something very clever or something witty or just some form of advice that I like to give my guests or close my show out with. And today I can't. There is nothing that I could say to you that you haven't already heard, that you haven't maybe already experienced, because I've never been in this position. I hope I never am.
I pray you aren't either.
There's nothing I could say. I want to thank you for being so open and so honest, for being willing. I know it's still, like you said, give me the rundown on the days. 563 days.
You know,
which is like nothing.
I'll tell you something, Ash. When you got a life sentence, 563 days is you just getting started.
That's what I'm saying. That's that 563 is.
But I'll tell you something. If you really wanna know what's keeping me going, it's all these speaking engagements at these high schools, these middle schools, my program with I Can, I Will, I Must in the elementary schools, being out in schools that people never thought. I'm speaking in Ross, I'm going to Edgewood, I'm guest speakers at Northwest, I'm going to Muskingum, I'm going to Marietta College, I'm going to all these places, and I'm sharing the story, the tragedy of my son, but I'm giving these kids hope that if you take advantage of today, when you take advantage of today, you leave nothing in the tank. Every day, you got to act like tomorrow's not promised, because every day, somebody didn't get the wake-up call. Right. So all I'm trying to do now is go in every school, make sure they know my brand, my name, my message, because it's so much bigger than me. When I say it started as a slogan and grew into a movement, like literally, I got supporters that's 75, 80-year-old white, Mexican, Puerto Rican on the other side of the country that support my brand. Right now, I'm just so planted in this tri-state area that I told them and everybody I've been speaking in all these schools, there's no doubt, Ashley, I'm going to be the biggest public speaking name that the tri-state ever seen. I'm telling you, I'm going to go impact all these Cincinnati public schools, because all these kids need somebody who could show them what perseverance is like.
Absolutely. We talked about that a couple times on my show before. It's difficult to tell kids how to do something that they've never seen be done before. So that having to go through what you went through to get you to the point that you are now is heartbreaking. But I want to thank you for having enough strength to find some type of purpose in your pain, to find some type of passion to not only get you up every day, but to find passion and purpose enough that it gets you to care about somebody else. That's amazing.
I appreciate it.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I would be able to do that. I'd like to think I'd be that kind of person, but I don't know.
I'll tell you this. I didn't think it was in me until I made it bigger than me. When I seen what my son was to the Muskingum community, to the Northwest community, you raise a child and you be like, man, I want my son to be out here, man. I want you to be respectable. I want people to like you. I want people to admire you. I want people to respect who you are, how you carry yourself. But as a dad, you always, come on, man, pick up the water bottles, man. Clean up the basement. Why you got this? But in his passing, to find out, he was the head of Black Student Union in college I never knew about. All the things he done in the community, all the people that talked about how they came to him for advice. Another young father talking about how he helped me understand what being a young dad, because you showed him what he needed to do. When I start realizing that my son was a direct reflection of what I was showing, how do you quit?
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in tonight. Jerome, again, I have to thank you for your strength, your perseverance, the desire for you to just continue to keep pressing. there's anything that I can personally do for you or your brand, please don't hesitate to let me know. I mean that. You got my phone number, so make sure that you call me.
I will.
You guys can make sure that you guys go to www.makeithappen. www.wegotworktodo.net. Chrissy, put that in the comments for me, please, so we can make sure that we are sharing that and spreading that message. I'm going to just give you this not last opportunity, but on this show, if there's anything that you want to say, or just anything maybe that, you know, if your son was here, that you would say, what would it be?
Take every single day and maximize it as long as your eyes is open. Because tomorrow didn't come for him like we thought it was. But I promise you this, people who never seen him will know it.
Will know it. Absolutely. Let me see. We've got It Takes a Village. Thank you. Proud of you. Thank you for sharing your story. I admire you. Praying for you and your family. You have such strength. Thank you so much for trusting us with your story. So trust me, you have impacted tonight. Thank you so much again for coming on to the show. I definitely appreciate you again. Make sure you call me if there's anything.
I will. I promise.
All right?
I will.
All right, you guys. I will see you all next week. It was a tearjerker. I told y'all that we was going to do this, but we made it through. Shout out again to Jerome, and just shout out to all the dads that are involved in their children, but especially their young men's lives. Things like this matter, and it's actually being done more than we think it is.
Absolutely, it is.
Way more than we think it is. We just let society try to convince us that it's not. But you know, shout out to dads that are so heavily involved the way that you are. That means a lot to me as a single mom. It's a beautiful thing to see, and it's even more beautiful to see the type of father that you continue to be, even though your son is no longer with us. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in tonight. I'm your host, Ask Ashley, and I will see you all next week.